Poya Shabazian has launched their own AI movie studio right now in Texas, and they're going to release under $500,000 films, and they want to do all AI based. All AI based. They've released their first video about this too. They're going to start right now. Now, they decided that visual effects are the future now. Shabazian said this too. And they're going to launch this whole new studio that's going to change the industry completely. That's what they're saying. Completely. Near studio quality AI movies that will use program forward motion. Now it's going to be film, TV, gaming studios all coming together for this AI generated movies. Now, again, under $500,000 each movie. And they want to together put out 30 low budget movies in the next 3 to 5 years. So 30 of these AI movies under $500,000, and they're pushing for it. Now they're going to use some actors. The idea is use some actors to do again a voiceover, and then replicate that. Use the AI replication and make it work, and then start pumping these movies out. Now their very first movie that they actually are going to do, they actually put a little trailer out for. They want 150 movies though in the next in the next 4 to 5 or next 10 years, they were saying. So they want to start really pumping these out, and they think that this is going to be the whole new revolutionary time in the industry. To me, we've said this multiple times, and I'll say this again. I think what we did again for SAG was fantastic. We fought against AMPTP for a better tomorrow, and I've had conversations with a bunch of union members because you guys know I'm involved with a lot of committees and stuff, and I joke and I might run for SAG president. But my biggest thing is this, is when we looked at the contract, it should say human performer. I still think human performer makes sense. Didn't happen because of logistics stuff, future ideas, projections where it comes future. But with this, people are looking at a leeway to find a way to find that gap to make money at a cheaper budget. That's what it comes down to. And this studio is going to do that. Will it be great? I don't know. Will it change industry? Eventually it will. But as of right now, we have to just take a breath and realize that this is down the line, and whatever happens is only one chapter, and we got to keep fighting for what's best for actors. Our connection is always better. Human connection is always better. We have to fight for what's right for us, and we got to keep pushing for humankind when it comes to creative arts. We have to. And here right now, I got to show you because I want to make sure you guys see it, because here's my panel. Guys, I love you guys so much. I want to go over this right now. I want to show you just a brief section of what they're going to do with this first movie. And here's what they're saying about it. So watch this right now. We'll talk about it.
Staircase Studios is a film, television, and gaming studio aimed firmly at telling new original stories. We are bringing a talent-driven approach to the use of AI tools by combining the work of high-level Hollywood professionals with experienced AI artists.
Hood meets his mistress every Wednesday at 2 o'clock. He is never late, and it's the only time he's without...
From using it for auditions...
So you can real actors.
It's what is right and what is wrong. But one thing we should never disagree on is what is right.
To experimenting with different formats and styles.
I'm Johanna Schaft, president, and the Gemma Society is looking for women like you.
AI has seamlessly complemented the artistry of the incredible talent behind our studio's debut feature.
Hello.
We work with Emmy Award winner Alfred Jimeno of Marvel, and formerly of Pepestar, Oscar nominee Teddy Newton.
Most people find it's easier to ignore their problems. Well, that makes them complicit.
Our proprietary workflow embraces union talent at industry rates to make original content for global audiences. Now, from director Brett Stewart and screenwriter Michael Schatz, Staircase Studios AI proudly presents the opening of our debut feature.
Let's say first one is the woman with red hair, and I'm not sure you see I'm not gonna play the whole thing. It's a whole teaser, but just so you see a little bit of it.
I'm Johanna Schaft. Hello, I'm Johanna Schaft. The Gemma Society is looking for someone like you. Women like you.
Yeah.
Women of action.
What do you want us, guys?
Hello, I'm Johanna Schaft, and the Gemma Society is looking for women like you. Women of action. It's important. Crucial. It's crucial that we do
That's fucked
everything
up right
we
there.
can to make a difference.
Weird.
You know, we're taking the beats, taking the moments.
Frankly, looks like shit.
Yeah, like there's a disconnect that because we know
Trevor.
AI.
There's that. There's that.
Like the untrained eye, it could fucking fool them, which is haunting to think about. But I feel like because we've seen so much AI now, you can just see this weird disconnect, and it's that uncanny valley of just like it's off-putting. It feels disingenuous, and it's just strange.
It's just not real.
Right.
But before we get too deep, I want to show you one little brief section of something else, okay? There's another studio who launched a whole Porsche commercial, and this is all AI. There's not one human person, voiceover, anything, nothing. This is it. I'm putting the whole thing, but I'll play part of it.
Pietro always had a flexible neck, just like his father, and his very curious grandfather. All of the men from the Pisanos had this gift. This talent earned them fame in the village, even if it might not have been completely true. At 18, Pietro became a tennis judge, which was at least safer than his cousin doing neck tricks at the local circus, and less tiring than his nephew. Well, never mind. Older women were just laughing about it. Younger women were curious, naive, and idolizing. Many people argued about how the Pisanos did it. Some suspected special exercises. Some talked about genetics. But what no one knew is that the street in front of the Pisanos led to the home of Herr Weber, who in his adventurous years made his fortune by importing alpacas to Germany. But this would be an entirely different story. After retiring in Italy, through all the decades, he kept buying the best sports cars available from Gianni, who became a friend until the very end. When Weber went for a spirited ride, he did it right in front of the Pisanos' house. Porsche, turning heads for generations.
So that right there was all AI. Not one frame shot, not one human actor, none of that.
It shows what executives feel, which is nothing.
Yeah. So I would say that is better. The Porsche commercial is better than what they did before with the other studio, but that's the route we're going. And this is what I want to address tonight, because I think that it's important. We have to talk about this. We have to start having these conversations as the technology gets better. We have to keep talking about it. If we don't, we'll get tricked by shit. We'll be upset by things, and actors will lose jobs. And also, there's that connection, guys. GR, I see you back there. You see both of these. You're looking good, looking fly, feeling good. How many margaritas deep, GR?
4.5.
4.5. All right, GR. 4.5 margaritas. Does this look real to you? And also, are you feeling like this could really mess up future generations of Hollywood?
It's basically going to fuck us out of jobs. I mean, as much as I hate to say it, the AI is becoming more realistic in each generation as it comes out. I mean, in the old days, it was...
You're doing that.
About a year ago, I was watching a shot where they had a woman walking down the street, and it looked like something we would shoot on set.
Which is Sora. We showed that. That was Sora, and Sora is like a big thing right now.
That's what
but you see even the Porsche commercial, GR, you see this, and you see also what the studio is doing. Is that feasible, do you think, in your eye? Do you think you'll see it where we'll just be like, this is fine, this is what Hollywood is these days, and ignore the past, and this is the future, accept the future? Do you think that's what's going to be?
Well, as Joe said, it can't happen. I mean, it's so realistic that what do we need an actor for? We can put...
But does that look realistic enough for you, GR?
For me personally, well, hell, as an actor, fuck no.
Yeah,
I want to work. But what I want, they don't give a shit about.
No.
They want to make money and cost less.
I mean, it's always that. So it's the investing versus return. I've had a few drinks, guys. Investing versus return, and I think that for them, honestly, for most studio heads, it's about making it cheaper as you can, so you make more money. That's what it comes down to. But this stuff is getting better. It's getting better. It's frightening, but it's getting better. You know, and I think we have to accept it, but we also have to work with it. Yeah,
Brian. The bottom line is, if it works well, we don't work.
very true. Very true. Very true. Joe, you see this, man. I don't know if you've seen either of these examples before, heard about the studio before doing this, like less than $500,000 movies to actually invest in AI to make great new content, they're saying, to change the business. When you see this again, do you see like, oh, the next big phase in Hollywood, or do you see more cartoons that are like going to do nothing for us?
I get afraid. I think, honestly, like what GR said, this is still in its infancy. It's only a matter of time before it, like I said, like there's a weird disconnect that happens, especially in watching this AI stuff right now. Like there's an emptiness that comes from especially the actors' performances. Like, I mean, you're seeing them side by side, like in that intro video where you see the actors' actual performance and then what comes through in the AI, and there's less going on in the eyebrows. Like, there's a lot of leeway and things that are missing, but it's only a matter of time before it starts picking that up. And once that happens, it's, you know, like that it is going to be 1-to-1 with those performances. And there's a weird mixed bag there, because it's part of the thing that I actually really liked with video games is the idea of, as an actor, not being limited to what you look like, you know, and being able to act and perform characters that you necessarily couldn't be cast as. So there's that side of it that I think is interesting, but it's haunting to think of it just simply not being used with that artistic integrity in mind. It's being thought of as a cheap cost expense, being, you know, a cheap form of labor. And that it's now to the point where they literally, at least with that studio, they're showing actors that they have hired and they are acting and they are performing. But then you go to the degree of the Porsche, or of that Porsche commercial, and I almost guarantee that was literally just typed out.
It was all typed out.
It had no actor. Like, yeah, there was no actor. That was just text to prompt to write me a commercial, and it pumped that shit out. And so with that is the most haunting, because
it looks better too. It looks better too, doesn't it?
Well, I think the only reason it looks better is because it works better for the medium of commercials, because commercials are probably the most empty form of filmmaking anyways, because it's a commercial product. You're selling something. It's just a moving billboard. So with that, AI works pretty seamlessly. But when you're actually trying to do art and make a story and make me invested in characters and stuff like that, they're going to have a harder time. But not for that long, I don't think. And that's the scary part of it, is because it's less of, do you think that this is going to happen? It's when is this going to happen? Because, I mean, and the answer is now. Like, there's already a studio, like now. It's literally happening already. So there's kind of no fighting it. It's just,
but
we'll see.
The question is,
yeah, Jeff?
if this happens, sorry, I've had a couple of drinks too.
Yeah.
Do they need people like directors, lighting, casting, you know, all of the other parts of the business? Do they?
They don't, GR. They don't need it here now, GR. Not at all.
No, they're what you're going to have now is you're going to be replaced with people who are, I guess,
computer geeks.
I guess the term would probably be prompters. People who are really good at working the algorithm and knowing how to type in the right prompt to get the right results out of the AI. Those are the people that are going to be valued. And it's such a silly, dumb thing to be good at. is like, oh, I know how to talk to robots, so I'm going to be a valued asset in the artistic.
I'll be the robot master.
Like, yeah, the robot.
So basically, there goes the industry as we know it.
Well,
We know it.
It's about working with it, though. I will always say that because I think it can help us. But working with it, you got to figure it out.
So?
You got to balance it. You got to find ways, and that's what they were trying to do. The last contract was the idea was if they use AI, you get paid for those sequences. You know, it's like as if you don't have to show up for set, but getting paid residuals for those reshoot days. The problem is, though, I think, is there's like so much like gray area that it wasn't described. It's like, oh, well, we're talking like yes, but maybe they won't. It has to be all very much laid out. And I think at the end of the day, what happens with like us right now, right? Us talking are real people having conversations, figuring things out, discussing things. AI can't do that yet. And when it gets to that point, that's where I worry. But it's still it'll become like this year. Here's what I'll say. All you like different. Let's galactic spectrum, right? Galactic spectrum. One alien race to the next. That's what's going to be like, you know? And we're still going to be deciphering things the way we do, and they'll decipher things the way they do. I think we will still stand out in our own perspective compared to theirs. I think it'll always stand out. I think it will. They're mathematically based. We're based off emotions. That's what it comes down to. And until that changes, people want to see us, I think. You know, I hope. Trevor, what do you think? Think that's a possibility?
I have a lot to say about this. And I think I'm going to be both more optimistic and more pessimistic about this than everybody else has been so far. But I'm definitely going to take a different perspective. Mm-hmm. So, for one thing, I think that AI is not getting better. We're seeing a lot of studies already that are showing that it's basically plateaued, especially because we're getting to the point where the scraping that they're doing is just scraping other AI generated content, and it's causing so many errors with it. Oh. I don't know if AI is going to get better than it is right now. It will get better, but I think we're at the point of diminishing returns. I don't think it's going to get a lot better.
God, I hope you're right.
I hope he's right too. All right.
Me too.
Therefore, like we're looking at the way that things look right now. I think that anything that's created with AI is going to be tethered very specifically to this era. It's like, you know, you look back at the 70s and you see like disco and like the big hair. You look at the 80s and you see like hair metal and like, you know, all the weird like pastels and whatever. Like AI art is going to be very specifically tied to the 2020s. I think it will get bigger and more popular for a little while, but I think eventually people are going to get fucking sick of it because, like you said, like we're emotional beings. We need to connect to a human. People are going to get to a point where they just cannot connect to this material. So as far as like this studio that's going to churn out 150 movies in a year, like, sure, they're going to do that, but it's going to be like bargain bin DVD at Walmart bullshit.
Yeah.
And I think it feels
like. I pray to God you're right, Trevor.
I think there will always be a market for bargain bin at Walmart bullshit. I don't really see this becoming our summer blockbusters. I don't see AI replacing Christopher Nolan. I don't see AI replacing, you know, like any like Damien Chazelle, like any of these great filmmakers. Like I don't see it happening. And like if you like Brian, if you can pull up that the woman with the red hair video again and like go to the time code 6 minutes and 8 seconds and pause right there for me real quick.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Here she is. 6 minutes and 8 seconds, you said?
Yep.
I am curious. You have piqued my curiosity, Trevor.
Make me think while I'm drunk.
Does this seem right? Peace, fate. Oh shit! Hold on.
Yeah, that's the video. Go to 6 minutes 8 seconds. Yeah, there we go. What the fuck is the name of that newspaper?
Peace.
Daily Donkey through.
Daily Donkey Deck. Yes, Daily Donkey Deck.
Daily Donkey Deck. This shit is just going to continue to be garbage like that. And I mean, like, the reason that we have art departments, the reason that we put all these details in the movies is because people notice this shit. Like this is not going to fly. This is not going to survive like generations. This is not going to be a classic.
No, and same as like
Well, I don't know. My ex-wife might like that.
I mean, like, I'm sure that my parents are probably going to like this stuff also, but like,
Yeah.
you know, like our kids aren't going to like this. Our kids are just going to look at this and see it as some dumb shit that our generation did.
No, is that a tank or a Jeep or like what are we looking at here too? Like
I don't know what we're looking at. We're looking at slop. Like literally,
that's called a tank. For those of you that don't
just
know,
wants you to see the word "peace fails," and that's not even a proper font. It's just like someone finger painted that on this news.
It looks like it's supposed to be like the Daily News, but it's definitely not that at all.
English.
Right. And so I think that's my first point. My second point is that like. The way that we're using this AI right now is so catastrophic environmentally. Like, this uses so much energy. This is doing so much damage to the environment. Like, there's a lot going on right now, like, globally, politically, and I don't, like, none of it is sustainable. I think that within a few years, people will finally have to take pollution and climate change seriously, or will die. So, there's going to be new
real world will happen like it did
them, look,
1,000 years
AI
ago.
shit needs to pass a certain level of environmental sustainability, and the current models don't do that. So it's going to slow them down. They're going to have to figure out how to do it in a way that doesn't boil the goddamn oceans. And
okay.
There will come a point like this technology will have to change. It will have to.
It's gonna have to, but I think that's gonna get better. You don't think it's gonna get better, Trevor?
I don't think it's going to in our lifetimes. And I think that once the environmental regulations hit, it's going to slow them down to the point where they might just say, this isn't fucking worth it.
There's a whole thing that the quantum computers is supposed to overpower quantum computers in 2028. And that's supposed to be like a whole new revolutionary thing. Which is why, if that happens, if they can actually decipher our written codes, that's going to really be game changer. Will be,
We'll see. I'm just saying, like, everything looks dire right now. I don't think things are as bad as they look. I really think that this AI shit, the way that it is right now, will run its course. This might become a bigger issue 10 or 20 years from now. But, like, the current AI is not going to be it. Like, people are going to reject this.
I do hope that there is some form of, because it's a learning program and it has to learn off of these models. Like, that's where I think crediting people and stuff like that, if they do follow through with doing more AI stuff, if they just as simply as, like, say, for example, AI art. AI art is trained off of a bunch of, Etsy artists and all these things, and then it's able to pump out the art that it can. But if every time it pumped out an AI art piece, it said, we made an amalgamation of all of these artists in order to make this art, it wouldn't be so bad. Like, I genuinely think that if they gave credit where credit was due, and it doesn't seem like it's that hard either, because it is like it's all logged. Like, that's how the AI works. It's like, I learned from this photo, this photo, this photo, this photo. It's just the credits would be very long because it's a fucking hybrid of a ton of different artists. But credit them, show the credit, show the work, like, and give these artists their credit. Then I think it wouldn't be so bad. Like, and if that happened, same with the films and stuff like that too. Like, this shot was learned off of Nolan and this movie and this or whatever, like, this is where it's getting this training algorithm or whatever from. I honestly I think AI would be much less of an issue than it is if it just simply gave credit where credit was due. I don't think
we'll never do that, though, because you know what? It's like humans sometimes, Joe. It wants all the credit for itself,
which is insane because it's just not. And that's the whole other thing with AI art is it's like, this isn't original. It literally has no ability to create an original thing off of itself. It's a learning program, so it learned off of things you trained it with. So all it can do is replicate based on the training that you gave it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. God, where are we living in? What are we living in nowadays, you know?
No, isn't it funny that all the post-apocalyptic, dystopian futures always showed like robots doing all the like physical labor and all this stuff, and it's like, no, that's actually cheaper. It's actually cheaper to have the humans do the physical labor and then have AI do the art and do all that stuff. Like, it's actually way more dystopian than even the dystopian future said. Like,
we should do a movie about the AI robots whipping people and making them work and fucking build pyramids and shit. You know what I mean?
You thought it was going to be robots doing the work, and it's not.
Robots are expensive. People are cheap.
People are fucking like pump them out. I see this. So, and the reason why I brought this up, and the big thing for me is like, we've been talking about AI since before the strikes, on cruise control, especially. Always talking about AI and like how it's great, it's bad, ups and downs, lefts, right, square root that some bitch, all that shit, And I think though, at the end of the day, it's going to keep advancing, it's going to keep growing, it's going to keep becoming a thing where we have to keep talking about it, or if we don't, we're going to lose track and it's going to take over the business. We have to keep discussing it. We have to keep talking about it. We have to figure out what's happening. New advancements happen every day. And I will say this to our union members, please keep watching, keep addressing it, keep talking about it, and think about 2 steps ahead because they already. If you don't.
Thank you, Mr. President.
They've a lot. I'm saying if you don't think 2 steps ahead against artificial intelligence, they already won. And honestly, it's a great thing, GR. I love it. You know me, I love I love fucking technology. That's my biggest thing. I love it. But I do want to make sure that the art, the craft, the love, the joy, the emotions, the human aspect of acting is there. And I think we look at things in a lazy way sometimes, like, we call it quiet quitters these days, right? It's Joe knows what I'm talking about. It's like, it's easy. Pay me and pay me. That's what you say in wrestling. Pay me and pay me. But I think that we have to think about longevity and what people connect to. And I hope that we don't forget about that and we realize that we can do a lot better without them. They can help us. We don't have to rely on them. That's all I'm saying. And I'm worried about the future. I am, but I do know we'll be. If we fucking fight, we'll be fine. If we fucking push, we'll be fine. If we try, we'll be fine. If we become fucking
complacent,
we're done.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pepestar needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.